Um, It is August the 9th, 2023, and we're going to do a little bit of letting go of your hopeless struggles. Play on words. We have one person with us. Maybe some other folks will show up. In the meantime, oh, I didn't even do that myself. I got it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, we're both remiss here. I didn't do it as well.
We will chat
Wow.
in. Hello from Maine. Phil will chime in, and we'll chat along here. See what shows up. To begin with, what you see on your screen before you is the home page of the ACT Matrix Academy that has several APA courses that you can take, and you access that by clicking the green button below where it says click here for APA Continuing Education ACT training, and bring your attention to ACT as pattern recognition. That's our newest one, and it's the only place you'll see that, period. No crowdcast.
Not to be found anywhere else, even on our channel.
The only place it is, but it is way cool. So you do that. Somewhere in the upper right, I think that, hi guys, good to see you again. Thanks in advance for all the opportunities.
Thank you. Thanks for joining.
In the upper right, you can follow. We get more followers every single day, really. So somehow they can follow us. So that's a way cool thing. And HJ has shown up. Holly Johnson. Well, hello there, Holly. You can check in and tell us where you're from. Where are you from, Holly?
North Dakota. Whoa. I think she's been here before, and I think she's still in North Dakota, huh?
Oh, well, that's cool that we have North Dakota. Yeah, I have not been to North Dakota.
Nor have I.
Yep.
Neither Dakota.
Nope. Haven't been there. Nope. Maybe someday. You never know. Things happen.
She says no.
Oh, well. But I have been and done ACT trainings in many states. Back when we did live ones, pre-COVID. Everything is pre-COVID and post-COVID.
Yeah.
I think that's it. So we got the chat that's going, and we got the APA courses locked. Yay. We're good to go. We've done well.
Really. We're just zooming along here.
And now we're going to talk about letting go of your hopeless struggles. For those studious people will know that that's a play on an ACT term called creative hopelessness.
Yep.
I think that's probably in the original book.
It is a chapter. I looked it up, Kevin. Page 87 in the original ACT book.
Creative hopelessness. And did they explain it really well?
Oh, man. There are a ton of words there.
Many words.
That tend to make one's head spin.
Well, we're not here to make your head spin.
No.
So the hopelessness is pretty simple. It simply means that it's hopeless to try and get rid of naturally occurring yucky stuff. That's where that comes in. So you're switching from a process, a habit of saying, oh my goodness, anxiety is here, quick, I got to get rid of it. Oh my goodness, sadness is here, quick, I got to get rid of it. Or whatever it is, quick, I got to get rid of it. Just drop everything and go to get rid of it. And not creative.
Nope. No creativity there.
So in ACT, we say, well, we know that anxiety is going to show up. No big deal. Sadness is going to show up. No big deal.
You're back there.
And you're certainly going to have the urge to try to get rid of it. No doubt about that. And sometimes you will go ahead and do it. But when it gets to the point of you're struggling with it, you're, I'm sure they borrow that term from Buddhism, the struggle with suffering.
Yeah, it's Buddhist. That's a Buddhist thing.
So in ACT, the whole idea is that you let go of the struggle with the unwanted stuff. And in that letting go, that opens you up for creativity. So imagine you open your hand up.
Like you got here and you're squeezing it, and now you open it up.
Let go. And in that let go process, at least the potential for creativity goes up.
You can do more things.
Okay. So I know one of the people on today is a sports psychologist.
Ooh, that's right.
So, in terms of sports psychology, instead of trying to struggle with whatever, some kind of performance anxiety or the yips or something, you let go of the struggle. And in letting go of the struggle, now creativity for doing something different shows up.
The other naturally occurring things can begin to happen.
And that's it. So that's the term. It's that simple. And it doesn't do you any good to make it complicated, because complicated doesn't work very often.
That brings back into the struggle.
I'm struggling with complicated stuff.
Yeah. I need to understand my complicated stuff before I can let go of it. How does that sound?
That sounds really, really, really familiar. That's what.
And then he says, "Oh yeah, it's big here.
This is big here. All sports have a threat of failure, but can't get rid of the threat." Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Such is the nature of sports, isn't it?
Any competitive endeavor.
Absolutely. And well, and if you get hooked on the struggle, then it pulls off all kinds of stuff. Mental energy, physical energy, off over to the struggle. And in sports, if you're expending energy to get rid of stuff,
yep,
you're not expending energy on
nope.
sport.
Think in baseball, if you're expending energy while the ball's coming at you, it's strike one.
Right? Yeah. There's no time for anything else.
Right.
So yeah. So all of that. So that's why. But I don't know if you know, Eddie. There's lots of sports teams that use the ACT matrix, including Major League Baseball teams. Yeah. And all kinds of others, because ACT in general, but the matrix makes it simple. And once again, it is a little bit different in that you're showing them, the sports people, the point of view, and then you're letting the natural process take over. So it gets a little bit squirrely, because once that's in place, then the coaching, it's good. It's okay to do coaching, but it helps if the coach is aware of ACT, which is the let go, show up, get moving process, so that they don't say stuff like, you need to stop thinking about failure, and just stop, full stop right there. That's it. That's struggling. When you say you need to stop doing that, well, that's struggling. So instead, you're noticing yourself struggling with that. And in noticing that, you can let go of that struggle. And now energy is freed up for something else. And now the coaching becomes skill building.
Yeah.
Skill. You're freed up.
Off and do something.
Right. You're freed up for the skill. So, but a lot of coaching involves the natural tendency to tell people to stop struggling.
Yeah.
Doesn't work. So that's why the really great coaches are what Vince Lombardi and others are the ones that focus on getting the ball down the field, the trickling, doing this, moving forward. Okay? So this helps. So how do you do that? Well, it's the way we do it is quite simple. All of you who've been with us know it's a very simple little way to get started. And you just show it to people. So, so here's how it would work. It would sound like, oh, gee, take a look at this. You feel like taking a look at this? Say it any way you want, whatever. And people go, yeah, sure, show it to me. Say, okay, we put who's important in the lower right. Who's important to you? Well, my wife's important to me. How about you? And people go, okay. And essentially, folks, what you're doing is showing people that for this point of view, for this exercise, we're going to put important people in the lower right box there, pointer. Check. Now, we all have yucky stuff. People have yucky stuff that show up. The number one is fear. And by the way, that's the sports thing. I am afraid of failing, right? I'm afraid of losing a form of failing. I'm afraid of missing. I'm afraid of making a fool out of myself. All that kind of stuff goes in the lower left. Check. We now know. We all have stuff that we do to try to lessen the yucky stuff. We watch Netflix, we drink. On the sports field, maybe we pick up a superstitious behavior.
Oh, yeah. Adjust our stance.
What's that?
Adjust our stance. Dust up the batter's box. Take a couple of practice swings.
Oh, yeah.
Fix your card.
But there's all kinds of stuff that people do, which is fine. I mean, the point is noticing that you do this stuff to get relief from the yucky stuff. You just notice it, part of the process. And then you go in the upper right, which is, of course, how do we move toward who's important? Now, with sports, you could also say, what's important? The sports, the winning, myself, all that kind of stuff. You go in the upper right, and you put that stuff up there. Great. So now we have this point of view, and you can notice all of this stuff. And in doing so, we changed everything. And by the way, that's the act as perspective taking. That's because now that perspective is there, and you can see yourself in that perspective. Because now it's who's important to me, what's my yucky stuff, what's my favorite relief moves, what's my favorite contentment approach moves. Now I can see all that stuff. I can notice all of that stuff. And boom, that changes the perception of everything. So now, how much time do you think you're spending over there on the left-hand side? I don't know. How much time are you spending over there on the right-hand side? I don't know. No, none of us know. But if you were going to guess in a 24-hour day, about how much time would you think you're spending on the left versus spending on the right? Once again, the person says, probably, I don't know. Well, exactly, but we know it adds up to 24. At least we know that part. We know it goes equal 24. So, and with that question, you've done all the work. They need not come up with an estimate. That's not necessary whatsoever. It's just that you're now noticing the struggle, left side, noticing the approach, right side. And the rest sort of takes care of itself. So how do you go about letting go of struggle? Well, do that. Or you can do the alternative, which is tell people to stop struggling. Or even better, tell yourself to stop struggling.
Yeah. Knock that off.
Which is the whole point of acceptance and commitment there. That's the acceptance part. Instead of telling yourself to stop struggling, you accept that you struggle. And in the accepting that you struggle, more than likely you'll do less struggling. Because you're not going to stop struggling. But you might do a little bit less and might do a little bit more approach. That's what you're setting up with all of those words and all of that stuff. So you just keep coming back to it. Now, for you sports psychology folks, if you want to do it, what you're coaching people on is noticing. So they're in a game of some kind or another, and things start happening. What are you noticing? What are you noticing in terms of what's showing up inside of yourself? Are you noticing fear? Are you noticing yourself heading for relief? Are you noticing yourself doing this? What are you noticing? And it becomes lots and lots and lots and lots of noticing up to the point that you get if you get like Michael Jordan or something, like a Zen.
Wayne Gretzky.
Or Wayne Gretzky is another one, where you're just seeing the entire.
You see the field.
See the field, the total field, everything.
You know where the ball's going. You know where people are moving to. You can see it all happening.
You can, in your mind, because it's so good at parallel processing, literally, what Wayne Gretzky's case, I
state where the puck is going to be, not where it is.
Right. Your brain basically calculates the speed of the puck,
right,
the angle of the puck,
and anticipates.
And anticipates, right. And the same with passing. I pass the puck and I shoot it in a direction where my teammate is going to show up.
Right. And can I lead that person? A quarterback throwing a long bomb.
Same thing with, they have milliseconds to throw a pass that has the lead that will get it. And they do it, but they can't do it thinking.
No. No.
Not enough time.
They have seconds and often milliseconds to make
So
it.
what we're doing with the ACT matrix in terms of that sports stuff is expanding their awareness of the field. That's literally what you're doing. So instead of an exercise that you're doing strategy or repetitious practice or whatever, which is great. That's part of the stuff. But this is about seeing the field, the big picture. Noticing the field from the 30,000 foot view. That's what this is about. And if you practice it enough, it works. And so that's what you do. So kids show up, high school tennis practice or something, whatever. First thing you do the matrix. Now, as we do all these other drills, we're going to do everything else, right? We're going to drill, we're going to get in shape, we're going to do all that good stuff. But we're going to keep coming back to noticing this stuff. It's a noticing practice. And in that regard, you're not trying to improve anything.
No, it's not prescriptive.
No. What you're hoping for, with a big hope, and it does work, is that expansion of the field of view. That's what you're looking for. So Bill and I are both old sports guys.
Yep.
Karate.
Yeah, keto, same thing.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I mean, my black belt I used to go with, he said, well, I know where you're going to throw your punch.
Right.
I said, well, how do you know that? Because I know what your right big toe is doing.
Right.
That's noticing everything.
Just
right?
anticipating, right? You're waiting for them to
Anticipating.
move and responding. Yep.
As soon as they see that toe twitch, they know what's coming.
Game is on.
Right. And that's they talk about hands-on.
Yeah.
They're doing stuff. Well, it's done with micro muscles, the sensing of micro muscles. So that's karate, but it's the same with all others. So sports is a nice analogy because, hey, I think it was in Ted Lasso. Football is life.
Right. Yeah, they said that.
It's a great line. But in a way, it sort of is because you want to expand your awareness of the field. And in that expanded awareness, you quickly learn what works
Yep.
and what doesn't work
Yeah.
to get you where you want to go. But you're doing that learning from this expanded. You're turning your athletes into little Buddhists.
Oh yeah.
They're
That's kinder. I was going to say functional contextualist, but that
a
would
functional contextualist. All right, yeah. But that's what you're doing with them, and that's what you're doing with people. So you lop off the sports stuff, and then you go to, okay, well, in life, can you notice exquisite details about your relationships?
Yeah.
Comes in handy, actually, to notice all kinds of details. Because in noticing those details, and if you fully notice and fully let the information in,
show up in you.
You just learn. You just learn it automatically. So that's the nature of this letting go. So back to it, folks. The let go process is on the left side of the matrix. That's the letting go. How do you let go? You notice it. You don't let go on purpose. And that's the weird world of ACT.
Yeah.
It's a weird world because like in CBT, let's say CBT. Don't think about that.
Oh yeah.
Stop that thought. That's CBT. Okay. ACT is notice that thought.
We don't mess with a thought.
We don't just notice it. No. Now here's the rub. By noticing it, you're messing with it.
Right.
But you're doing it on a different level. Doing it on a noticing level rather than trying to mechanistically think yourself out of something.
Manipulate it.
Yes, you're just noticing it. And then you say, well, what do I do with the noticing? Notice? I mean, there's no.
That's it.
Now, and you say, well, that's just free floating. You're right, that is. That's only contextualism. You add on the rest, which is the direction you want to go. So in sports is, I would like to win. That's a direction. Ta-da! Now we play with that direction. In life, I want to get a date. Okay. Do all kinds of noticing of stuff. And pretty soon you'll notice what works, one, to get somebody's attention that you would like to date. And then you'll start noticing what you might say and do to get a date. But it's noticing, of course, the first thing you would notice then, if you're a kid, is you notice the fear showing up of, oh my God, I might fail. They might, which is, in terms of dating, means they'll say no.
They're going to reject me.
They'll reject me. But it's the same as in sports, right? I'll miss.
I might strike out.
Right. I might. Oh wow! Phil just gave us one of them sayings that goes from sports to dating.
Exactly.
Right.
I whiffed on that one. Darn.
So sports is life. It really is life. Right?
It's swing and miss, and then swing and miss until you hit.
All right. And so There you go. And so that's it, but you're learning what works. And that's why they call it the workability model. It's built on noticing stuff from a 30,000 foot view so
All the
that
way.
you will learn what works. And unless you're a divine being, much
And
of
you're
what you try doesn't work.
Yep.
that's that's the rub of it, right? You know, so but then our mind gets in and it says, no, 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 no. I want
No,
the
it must work. It's gonna work.
I want the answer. I want 100%. I mean, when I hit a shot, I want it to work.
And I want a guarantee.
Right. I want my drives to be as long as possible. I want my putts to go in the hole.
Yep.
Tell me what to think to have that happen.
Yeah, I need the knowledge. Need the knowledge.
And I am just perfect if I think just right. That will happen. Nah, it don't work that way. It doesn't work that way. We all know it doesn't work that way. That doesn't stop me.
I was gonna say, it doesn't stop me from trying.
Doesn't stop me from trying. Okay. And Phil and I both, we still do. But then we notice and we let go and go back
Yeah.
and notice from the 30,000 foot view.
No struggle.
You know, we do. Are we super athletes? No.
Oh, no.
I mean, come on, that's a rarefied world. But can you probably incrementally do better at what you do? Yeah. Probably. Just because you practice anything, you get better and better at it. The way of life. But do you become Glenn Campbell on the guitar or something? Probably not. You know? By the way, in case you guys don't know, Glenn Campbell was a virtuoso guitarist. Absolute virtuoso.
Man can play.
Crazy good. Then he made some hits. He's one of the few people that was a virtuoso guitarist and then made some hits. So most virtuoso guitarists don't end up making hits.
Nope. They're playing in coffee houses and places like that.
Exactly. So anyway, that's what. So you're letting. What did we say? Letting go.
Letting go of your hopeless struggle.
Your hopeless struggles they're hopeless. So an act they called it creative hopelessness.
Right.
Yeah. Folks, we're really, 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 really. Just do the Matrix. At this point in every show,
We are gonna come back to this little diagram.
it shows up too. If you just run through the Matrix once a day.
Yeah.
For a while, you're going to notice stuff showing up. You're going to notice. You're just going to notice stuff, and you're going to go, "Wow,
yeah,
I'm noticing a lot more."
and here's what I'm noticing.
Right, and it's sort of kind of cool.
Yeah, that
I'm noticing. Now, you'll notice I'm not saying that life is better, life is worse, life is anything. That's not the point. The point is I'm noticing more. And that's sort of cool. So the whole sentence becomes I'm noticing more and that's sort of cool. And then that's life, right? If you can notice a lot of stuff and go, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then life will come in and say, but you need to be the $1 million pitcher or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Well, those messages are going to keep coming at you. But now the cool thing is you can notice the messages coming at you. That's the other thing that people say, I'll notice this.
I notice all kinds.
These people that have been telling me X, Y, and Z, this isn't all what it's cracked up.
Again, express to you how many times I've been seeing people later on after they play with this a while. And they're like, well, what you up to? Noticing?
Yep, just noticing.
And there's a contentment, and there's that word we put contentment over on the right.
We have that
There's
up.
a contentment in their voice when they say, "Oh, I'm noticing." Been noticing a lot of stuff. Oh. They didn't say they're noticing life is worse or life is better or life is anywhere in between. We're just noticing more stuff. So that's what ACT is about. So it helps in sports psychology in that you can help people get off the yips.
Yeah.
That's the biggie. We're not saying it improves performance. It might. You might do the studies and find it. But what I've seen it definitely help with is the letting go of the yips.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what the yips are, is it a baseball term or
Oh, baseball, golf, tennis.
I know I've heard it in golf, and I've heard it.
You go to putt the ball, and you're like five.
In
Put
tennis,
away the ball.
we usually call it choking.
Yeah.
Choking.
Right.
But I know that it's the yips in putting in golf.
Yeah.
And it's the yips in baseball.
Yeah, they say it in all sports. The yips are common parlance.
But it's common, and the yips are. I mean, you can't throw the ball. I mean, it's,
Well, you can, but you have no control over where it goes.
the putt goes
Yeah.
crazy places, and you throw the ball to first place, and it goes in the stands. You just get the yips. And the more you try to not have the yips, of course, the more you have the yips. And so this letting go of that hopeless struggle can get people out of the yips, which is cool. I know one guy though. He became an outfielder. He got the yips pitching.
Yep.
And he gave up pitching and went in the outfield and became a great outfielder.
I'm blanking on his name. I know
I am
exactly what
too.
you're talking about.
But, so he found a way out.
Yeah.
The way to do it.
He stayed in the game.
So it's really about contentment, folks.
So you attach to the evaluation of, and it's cool because it works. And if the client notices,
Actually, that we don't attach it; they do.
yeah, they do the work. You would encourage them. Yeah.
Now you got it.
Yeah. You got it.
So it will do stuff like that. Oh, so you're noticing that your life sucks. Cool noticing, right?
That's a pretty cool noticing.
Right. That's some pretty cool noticing. So what we rewarded, in quotes, was the noticing.
Adding noticing.
And so what Phil just jumped into was relational frame theory. And you're adding a flexible frame to the suffering.
To your struggle.
To the struggle. So by saying, oh, so you're noticing yourself struggling. And a person goes, well, yeah, I am. I'm noticing. That added flexibility to the struggle. So we're not doing it willy-nilly. We're actually adding a flexible frame. That's sort of frightening, but advanced. But the whole enterprise of ACT, folks, if you get down to it, it's nothing but adding flexible frames to stuck verbal material.
Yep.
So I can't have the yips.
Uh-huh.
Well, the more you can't have them, the more you're going to have them. So you're noticing yourself really grabbing tightly to the yips.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm noticing that.
Yes, I am. I am noticing that.
In that moment, there's a little bit of flux. Just a little bit of flux.
A little bit of breathing space, as we say.
And we just keep adding more flexibility to it. So it's like a cake mix that's got too much flour. Add some water.
Yep.
Loosen it up some. Because you can't take the flour out. You can only add stuff.
It's there.
So that's what you're literally adding noticing. If I did act in the end, it'd be adding noticing. It's artfully adding noticing.
Yeah. And you're right. Notice the unworkable rule that you can't have what you have. Right.
So you just notice it. And here's the other thing. It's built on the idea, ACT, is built on the idea that it's language that gets us stuck. These words that get us stuck, or languaging inside your head. You know, close your mouth, but you're still thinking.
It's still running.
It's still running, and that's what gets us stuck. Well, you're not going to language yourself out of stuck. Well, how do you language yourself out of stuck? Notice. That's how you do it. you with one word, notice. The one and only word you use is notice, and that cues up noticing. Related to noticing, and you don't enter into a verbal analysis. It's elegantly simple.
Yeah.
It's just that life doesn't cooperate with it being simple.
Nope. Doesn't give a whit. Just keeps coming at you.
Imposter syndrome. Somebody's going to find out that I really don't know what I'm doing. That's imposter syndrome.
Or even self-doubt, like I don't even think I know what I'm doing myself.
Oh no, not self-doubt. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So is that. So letting go of your hopeless struggles, notice them. Quick answer. How do you let go of your hopeless struggles? Notice your hopeless struggles.
Notice that you're in them.
Notice them. That's it. Practice noticing them. Now, a lot of people say, but I don't want to notice them. I want to get rid of them. Yep.
Oh yeah.
So now they come back to that, by the way, if you wanted to come back, would be cool. You can notice yourself not wanting to let go.
Not wanting to have your
Just notice that.
fill in the blank.
And somewhere out in the future, you start noticing a lot more. And it's just, and most people just say that's sort of cool. Cool. Intrinsic motivation takes over. I wish there was epiphanies. We need epiphanies.
Well, yeah, if we could add epiphany to noticing, boy, man, that'd be good.
Well, we'll work on that.
Noticing, and then the epiphany will occur.
And by the way, folks, no, we're not. We're not going to work on adding epiphanies to those.
No.
In
No,
case
that's beyond our skill set.
that's all we're doing. I mean, you can't add anything to noticing.
Nope.
This is. But you do.
Now your mind will want to add stuff to noticing.
This would all be a whole lot easier if it wasn't for the human mind.
So you're telling me if I do some noticing, this is all going to get better?
No,
That would be a
I didn't
mind
say
thing.
that. No, I
Right.
didn't. We're quick. I didn't say it was going to get better. I didn't say it was going to get worse either. What I said, there's going to be a possibility you're going to notice it more. That's all.
That's it.
So why, folks? Okay, why that? All that because if you're locked into better, well, now you're not so flexible. If you're locked into worse, now you're not flexible. The most flexible spot is just notice.
Middle.
That's
Not-
the most flexible
right.
spot. So that's why and the notion of values and act and of stating a direction of act is tricky as hell. And the reason that it's tricky is that you can so quickly get hooked on it and obsessed with it and rigid on it. And once that rigidity sets in, which is I gotta win, right? Let's go to sports again. I gotta win.
Yeah.
Gotta win. Once you get on the I gotta win, now you've lost all your flexibility. And you're a hair's breadth away from the yips.
Oh yeah, they're showing up.
Right. So you're awfully close. So it's just hanging on to these, these values, these directions. ever so slightly, ever so lightly. You hold them like a butterfly. And it's literally, you'll hear Steve Hayes talk about it if you look him up on the internet, of holding all this stuff lightly. Nobody's going to argue with a sports team wants to win. Okay.
Yep.
And at the same time, it needs to be held lightly. Because if it's clamped onto, trouble's afoot. Trouble will, I guarantee you it will happen. So, and now, all of this stuff, and I'm sure the sports psychology guy has watched Ted Lasso, the football coach turned professional soccer coach. And what was his thing always? It's not winning.
No.
His whole thing is not winning. That's not the point. The point is for everybody to be the best of who they are, the best human they can be. And so it's not about winning. And he's always careful not to be about winning. And later on, they bring in another coach that has the same philosophy, right? So that's, if you want to see examples of this in coaching, Ted Lasso.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Very good example.
Master class.
Master class in act coaching without saying it's act coaching.
Yep.
So it's fun stuff, folks. But really, when you get all in the weeds, if you just haul the matrix out and just do the way matrix.
Do one of these. Okay. In the weeds. Matrix time.
Just do 2 lines and say, okay, who's important goes down here, and my yucky stuff goes over.
Oh yeah, put that right there. Yep.
My relief moves go up there, and my approach moves go up there. Got it. Go on about your business.
That's it.
It's very strange. It doesn't make, well, that's the best. That's the best you can do. I've been doing this nigh on, how many? 2009. 14 years.
Yeah. It's been quite a long time. Yep.
After 14 years, folks, just do the matrix. We should just do a show, your daily matrix. People show up, we run through the matrix.
Go about your business.
Remember, I used to have that email thing, your daily matrix.
Oh yeah.
People loved
that. Was fun. That was fun.
I just got tired of resetting up the thing. I guess maybe we could set one up for it's forever.
You could.
It never stops.
Matrix email a day. Daily matrix in your inbox.
This is nothing but reminding folks to do a matrix.
Yeah.
Anybody want that? Anybody with us with a daily matrix email?
Go for a daily matrix in your inbox.
I over-chilled myself with my air conditioner.
Oh.
It was hot when I came into this room. I made it into a meat locker.
You noticed it.
Whoa, I'm noticing I'm cold. Nobody said anything. I don't know. Phil and I cheat. We do these shows and stuff all the time. So we're reminded to do them, to do matrices. We've done several today. I've already, as we run through them, it's amazing.
Yeah. I did some before we even got in here.
Right. It becomes a professional thing that we do.
Yep.
But you can too. I don't really know if people need reminders, but the reminders that we've seen so far, they haven't been that great.
No.
And I don't want to encourage people to get on their phones.
Yeah, we're trying to do this without the aid of technology.
Yeah, well, then I want technology. But, I mean, obviously we're on this show. That's technology. Most of us check email, so that's good. The apps,
Yeah. And we're going for organic. That's the word that we like to use. Organic.
Oh, I like organic.
Nothing artificial added.
Hey, man, in the cave people, there's drawings of the
Yeah.
Matrix. So, I mean, they didn't put the words on, but they put
Hey,
the hash marks. So,
the hash marks are in there.
so they're there. So very ancient drawing. Let's see, what else is going on that we need to matricize?
Well, there's the
I can,
whole.
gi-
Go ahead.
I can give you an example. There was today, is this August 9th, yesterday, there was a vote in Ohio.
I was thinking the same thing.
Okay. And it got framed up with what? Women's right to choose.
Right.
Basically. Roe v. Wade was rejected by the Supreme
Right.
Court. So now they have it. So you have these conservative states where these a lot of people, almost 60% of the people come out and say, and they vote. Well, think about it, folks. It's who's important, and you go vote. Now, but it's a little bit of both. It's also relief because they're scared to death that
Yeah.
they're going to be
They're
restricted.
going to lose their rights.
So it's a relief move to go out and vote to save your rights. Well, that powerful combination of I want to move toward choice and I want to stay away from somebody else telling me what to do with my body. And I'm not trying to be politically, that's just how they say, that's how it goes. I mean, as many people show up to vote as they did in a governor's race.
They said that they anticipated a high turnout, and I read something where the actual numbers were more like 4 times what they had anticipated.
Yeah.
4
I mean,
times.
well, this is
This
people.
is in August, folks. This is
Right.
in August.
Right. This is people behaving. You know, why would they behave? Well, if you look at it in terms of the matrix, they hit the sweet spot of both approach and avoid. Okay.
Either
Approach,
way,
my right to choose.
Either
Avoid,
way.
I don't want my rights to be taken away. Both of those things came together in a sweet spot, and people turned out to vote like crazy.
Yep.
Okay. So that's motivation 101. I mean, that works. So you can matricize a lot of things, including stuff like that, and see, and you can hear the comments of people that voted, and you hear what they're voting for, or
Or
they'll
against.
say, I'm trying to protect my rights.
Yeah, voting against, right.
I'm protecting my rights, or I'm moving toward choice. You know, framed it up that way. But you see how things get framed up result in behaviors. And so unexpected behaviors that you wouldn't see before. Sort of cool to watch and notice all that stuff going on. And see it, but it's important. And in that regard, by the way, and I'll get political, that move by the very conservative folks who want to have
You want to restrict.
rights, right?
Yeah. Yeah, make it harder.
That's not good. The bad. You're on the wrong side of history.
Yeah. And it turns out that all those people that turned out to vote didn't think it was such a good idea either.
Oh, and it's this coalition of both
And
Democrats
it was
Republicans,
bipartisan. That's the other thing.
and independents. So you had Republicans, Democrats, and independents all turned out
Yeah.
and voted it down.
Yeah.
So,
So the message is we want our government to get stuff done.
well, in that case, so they're going to pass a resolution. Now, yesterday wasn't about abortion, but it was
No.
about sneaking.
Well, it was about having 60%.
total
hit rate to be able to- right.
supermajority, right?
Right. They want a supermajority. Right.
And they said no. We're not.
Nah. Always been,
My whole point is motivation. So go back to sports, okay? If you can do this sweet spot of motivating approach and motivating for relief, and you get the both going synergistically,
Yeah.
you get massive motivation from your team.
And back to it. It's the behaviors up at the top here. It's the combination of the approach and the avoidance behaviors.
And once you get those lined up together, great things happen.
Oh yeah.
Great things.
As you said, unexpected behaviors show up.
Whoa! I like it. I like it. Yeah, fun stuff. But in the end, it is about looking at just noticing people's
We're
behavior
still back right to it.
and noticing, hey, and noticing your own behaviors,
Yeah.
approach and avoidance, because we do both. We all do that. So, and then it becomes you're studying yourself. You're analyzing yourself. You're looking at yourself.
Looking back at you.
And that's sort of interesting. It's cool. Just noticing, right? Just noticing. So we did it. We did a whole show.
We did.
We're having fun. We like it. I'm still not used to my 3 guitars. In case people don't notice, I added a guitar right there. Because
There's a nice balance there, Kevin.
well, we have more synergy there.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
I have, no, I think, do I? No, I have 2 tellies. I need maybe if I got a 3rd telly, I'd put all 3 tellies up there.
Hmm.
That would look cool. Right now, I got a homemade, that's custom made telly, and then I've got a Martin in the middle and a Gretsch over there on the left. So I'm not a very good player, but I'm good at collecting them. And I polish them really well, too. Oh, well, folks, we're going to go do something. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Well,
No,
we notice. That's what we do. We sally forth and notice. Life is sort of interesting when you notice a lot. Thanks again. Oh, thank you.
You're
We will
welcome.
be back